Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect. In the previous episode, we slowed down a bit on the building because of the sheer amount of events that we've been having. We did get this common room up and running, which, as people rightly pointed out, I have not actually designated as a common room, but it still will be used, but now it's going to be used even more, hopefully. And we just went around and did some other changes and additions and things like that. But this episode is mainly going to be about, in fact, probably solely about this thing here, which is going to be, why have we spent loads of money? Our tasers. Right, okay, so it looks like one of the classes has been completed here and we're getting loads and loads of tasers. Anyway, taser rollout, it's always good because we're going to be building this, which is going to be our high risk, and obviously tasers, good for subduing any high risk prisoners that decide that it would be a good idea to start getting a bit violent. So this is where we'll have our high risk prisoners. Now I want to have something probably similar to this. It is the same size, in terms of its height, but not in its width. And is that going to be the same character? Yes, it's Lee again, and it looks like that's a problem. It looks like nobody else is there to help them. Right, we need to get a guard over there, sharpish, so we'll get that guard there. And do we have another guard? I don't think we do have a guard. I think that's going to be, yeah, there's a guard knocked out, and yep, they've got another set of keys. This guy, Adam Lee, is a fairly interesting fellow. He's a fairly sprightly one, and indeed, well, and indeed a quirky guy. He tends to kick off all the time because he is extremely volatile, and apparently he can take three tasers to the face without going down, and there we go, he's finally been subdued there. I think most of the tasers missed. Is he extremely tough? He is extremely tough, so maybe he just avoided that. Anyway, so let's go over to here and we'll work out the size for this cell. Now, what I might do, I might have entrance there and entrance there, like similar to the other one. However, we might change it up just a little bit. Well, let's just see how we get on with it. So, assuming we're going to have something similar to the far right, let's just have, well, what was this one on the far right? It is a 3x2, and then it changes up. So, let's just try that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then, no, actually we can get, it looks like, a decent amount of cells with just the 2x2, which is fine, but we still want to have grading. We do want to have grading across the board here, so what we'll do is just that, and then we'll go right down the centre there, and then we'll see if we can grade in terms of, instead of doing a grade, so it's a 3x3, we'll have it say a 2x4. That might work. Is that a 2x4? It is a 2x5 actually. Is that a 2x5? 2x4. So that's correct there now. No, it's not. Hang on. So it was right in the first. I thought it was. It looked right. Normally if it looks right, it is right. But there we go. And that's the same there. That's right. Alright, so we'll go... And right. Definitely right. So that seems all present and correct. And in the centre we have even better graded cells. So we'll have an entrance in, say... I don't know. Does it really matter? It sort of does matter. We'll have the entrances like so. And we'll build the bottom one and the top one first when we assemble this. And obviously it means we can then just use the clone tool, which is going to be funky and interesting and good. Hang on, do we need to have this elsewhere? We normally... No, I think we'll just put them to one side. Although, I generally find that doing that gives you a bit more options for building. And since this is a bespoke one anyway, I think we'll do that. I'm not going to rotate these around so these can be cloned from these. I think that's going to be best because then it means I can just clone it over. Obviously, this center one here is a bit different, and I will actually put a door more centralized than the other ones. There we go. So that should be fine. So let's just go straight away to building brick, and we'll clicky draggy and sort that out. What I probably also need to do this episode is go ahead and do some power load balancing, because if we go over to utilities and check this out here, you can see that we have a problem, that this grid here is vastly more in demand than this one here, so we need to change that. And what I'll probably do to fix it is remove this bit here and this bit here, and then power all of the CCTV and security stuff with this one. That's probably going to be the decent way to do that. I'll do that though once this area here has been completed. What I do want to do though is, why have we not got no more guards? Are they all doing other things? They must be. Let's just go over to staff and guards. I'm going to hire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more guards, and we'll also get get probably 2 more janitors. The reason for that is the place is a bit filthy in places because a lot of these areas, these can't be cleaned by the myriad of workers in the cleaning cupboard because it's set to staff only. As you can see, actually the kitchen isn't, which is a strange one. Actually, I know the reason for that. That's because when we had the fire, it removed a lot of the stuff in here. Speaking of the kitchen, we will need to expand on that, and as you can see, that is powered again by the green one, so taking the load off here is definitely the way forward, I think. In terms of expansion, we'll be expanding to the left first. I mentioned that in the last episode. Once we've got this done and probably the changes around here, then we'll expand. I reckon we'll be expanding. I certainly think we'll be buying the land out next episode and then planning it out and then building from there, and that'll contain another cell block which will be for supermax prisoners, which will have armed guards in there. It's probably going to be a separate fenced off area. We'll also have death row and then whatever else we need. We'll probably have another forestry and indeed another workshop because I just like the use of that. And then when we expand to another side, well, probably this side anyway. Actually, will we do? I don't know. Maybe down is probably best. I think down is probably the next one. We'll get rid of this, and then we'll have probably an area for low risk prisoners, and we'll have them a little bit better as well. Obviously, this prison is completely. I wouldn't say completely different from anything I've done previously. We have done prisons with that weren't symmetrical. That's the main difference. It isn't symmetrical. In fact, it doesn't really. It's all sorts of shapes. With these are all different sizes and outside showers and stuff like that. It's just a bit weird, but interesting, I think. And with it having the water, I think that's really shaped things up. I do like that. You can get loads of mods that add different things as well. In fact, there's like different land effects and such, like land that's like unbuildable because it's like damaged or falling or something like that. There's also mods for being on just one island and you have a helicopter come down and the prisoners get dropped off there. I think that's really, really cool. Won't be featuring that on this one, but it is cool. Let's just go over to each of these doors individually here. We're going to lock those open. 1, 2, 3, 5. That's going to annoy some people, my apologies. And then we'll build that, and then we'll build that, and we'll have the walkways in here like so. Obviously we are going to we might as well build the walkways like that, and then we'll put the others in once we are completed. There's a couple of other walkways I think I've missed out. No, that one's fine there. That one is not fine, but we're not going to have. Actually, we'll probably do that because it'll look fairly good. Those walkways are in. There's probably some little bits that I've missed out on, but I'm not gonna. I mean, it's not making the prison completely. It's not rendering it completely redundant, so I'm not really worried too much about it. I'm just checking that's fine. Just gonna go over to planning here and remove all planning now, apart from in the area that we haven't yet built, because quite frankly, it would be a bit of a shame. So there's that there. In terms of utilities, we haven't yet plumbed that in. We'll be using or plumbed it in or connected to the grid because I want to. How's the grid doing there? Oh, and we got a little call from the warden. Hello, warden. Receives complaints that the prisoners aren't allowed to sleep enough and are getting very irritable about it. Okay. They've said that if they aren't given at least 7 hours sleep at night, they're going to start causing trouble. Okay. So if we just pause it then go over to our regime, I think that's a new one, or at least it's one that I can't remember. To be fair, it's not really a memorable one, is it? So we can easily do that by adding sleep. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. There we go. If you click on the minimum of anything else, it will add a regime just for that one, whereas normal affects the entire one. We'll add that one there. We'll add it in shower time, and then just alter the free time. People have mentioned previously about altering the shower time, in fact removing it entirely actually, saying that you don't need a shower time. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't think you do. It's something that you can happily get away with. It's just something that I've not really bothered with doing, and like I've never went with a regime that doesn't have shower. It's just sort of force of habit. And if we put that as free time like that, then apparently they'll still take care of their needs. But let's try it out. We might as well give it a go. There's nothing we will lose. It's not as if there's going to be lava flowing out the shower heads or something. I mean, we don't have the temperature control on, but hey ho. So anyway, once the eat time is over and people are back in back in the cells, I'll probably do a shakedown because we haven't done it in quite a while. If we go over to the intelligence, we can see that from the last 7 days, there's been a lot of things stolen and found and things like that. Scissors stolen from the library, things like that. Yeah, scissors. I didn't realise that. Oh yeah, they can be there. Oh, it's all been detected though. Yeah, I must have realised at some point because the metal detector's there. I wonder what else we can get from here. So it'll be in... Where is it? Dangers. Scissors are there. Yeah, that's fine. Rope comes from there, which is tool/improvised. We've got things from there. That's understandable. Yeah, okay. Okay. Right, so we've got that all cracking on now, so I will go for a shakedown. And one thing I haven't done is gone over to deployment access only, and looks like I already have. Okay, apparently all the things that I thought I hadn't done, I have. Well, that's fine then. So... in terms of the beds, we're going to start placing them. So we'll place one in there, then one in there, and then we'll put the toilet in there, and then that's pretty much that cell done apart from the door, you understand. So we will do that, and then that's all going to be sorted. And I think while we're on, we're going to say dismantle utility, those 2 there, and that one there. Now there'll still be other connections, and there's a tunnel. And looks like they've stopped there. Okay. A little bit of a tunnel. The main one I'm worried about is in the dormitory. And obviously, doing these full shakedowns doesn't necessarily mean we're going to find the tunnels, but we have got decent patrols. In terms of the dog patrol, you can see we've got one going along and around. We currently haven't got it round here, though, so we'll probably end up just expanding it like so. I've put it all the way up to the top there, and we'll assign another dog to that, I think. In fact, what we might do is... I wanted to cancel it off there, but I know pretty much for a fine fact that if I do that, then the prisoners will dig that way, and it'll just be a bit of a nightmare. Even though the dogs do have a range for their senses, they don't just sniff directly below. They seem to happily move, happily detect other things as well. There's some more violence. Is that who I think it is? I bet it is. Yes, it is. Who else is it going to be? It's Mr. Lee. Adam Lee. The thing is, there's nothing I can do to help them, to prevent this. He's a confidential informant, fair enough, but his character reputation shows that he's extremely strong, so he's, you know, always going to be hitting harder, extremely tough, so it's hard to put him down. Stokel becomes suppressed... not become suppressed when locked in solitary, they just don't care, that's why it's a problem. And fearless, not intimidated by the sight of armed guards and less likely to surrender. So if I have an armed guard going back and forward here, it's not going to matter. The solitary is not going to alter it, and the armed guard going back here is not going to alter it. And he's volatile. That's the problem. That he's going to kick off, and when he kicks off, he just doesn't care. Yeah, that's an issue. In terms of needs, you can see there's a lot of exercise need there, but we are on free time now, so hopefully that'll be resolved. You can see that a lot of people are using the shower, so the hygiene rating, even though it's in critical, is slowly going down there. The problem we may have is that we don't really have a lot of free time. Actually, we've got a decent amount of free time, but it's a lot of free time / work there. But once we've got this... give prisoners more sleep thing over the event, I'll remove from there and there, and that's going to be another couple of hours of free time, so that should hopefully help out. Right, so it looks like this is all done, so I've removed all of these in here, so the automatic doors are not functioning, but we can easily resolve that by connecting up the lines there, and then over to there. And then we'll max speed that out. Make sure that's set to... make sure that's set to priority, and then hopefully... that'll function. There's the guards going on there. We can see that has altered the load by about 1 bar. Not good enough though, not good enough. What we might have to do is remove that, and the other stuff that we put in might have to be connected to that grid, although I still don't think it's going to be feasible. But anyway, we should have enough power to run the electrical cable down like so. Like that. The problem is going to be powering the metal detectors, although we should have enough power. They don't draw a great deal. But we'll see how that one goes. So, we will go over to deployment and max sec only that one there, as well as these here. These are obviously separate cells. We'll be cloning that in a moment. I probably won't clone the floor. I'll probably put the floor in afterwards. Oh yes, that's apparently they found us another tunnel there, which is an interesting one. Need to remove the tunnels there. do a full sweep of the prison. There we are. And then they'll clear that off. Probably best to have a holding cell at some point as well. I know it's something that I forget, or rather, not really forget, I'm aware of them. I just tend to overlook it and go, nah, don't need that. But it's always good for when you've got a bit of overspill. So in this case, when there was a couple of prisoners that didn't have a cell because they were technically not a legitimate cell because there was a hole in the ground, having one of those, it tends to work. So we're going to go to cell. We're going to select those there, put them on there. We'll go for our quick build clone. And then we'll go down there. There we are. Same thing on the other side. Bit of money here getting spent. Not that it matters. We'll all recoup in a moment's time. Once we go to intake, then open up max capacity. Because we haven't had it open before, you can see that we only have 6 available there. That will increase though as we start filling up. And I don't mind waiting for the max sec, to be honest with you. It's not really a priority that we get them all immediately. In fact, I'd rather them trickle in. Now I'm going to try to do this without having armed guards. But I'm certainly not opposed to apparently a tunnel there. If there was one there, I'd be well in trouble. Yes, apparently another fight there. See if they're recruit informants. There we are. A lot of people are in around here. I wonder how long Lee's got to go. Served nearly 7 years of 21-year sentence. I think, honestly, the only way he's going to leave here is if... Every time, man. Every goddamn time. I mean, he is a legendary prisoner. He's become a legend within the canon of this series. The thing is, he's not... A lot of the prisoners that you get are they're extremely violent and they're deadly and stuff, and they're just, you know, there's just so much problem. But this guy, he feels like more of like a nuisance plus, like an extreme nuisance, rather than someone we should fear. So anyway, we're going to tell him to stop what he's doing by tasing, although, to be fair, do you want to fire your taser yet, mate? Anytime you want. And that's not happening. Okay, I'm going to have a guard patrol in here, aren't I? There we go. And unconscious again, and he takes the keys. See what I mean? He's not standing there. And, yeah, he just tased him through a door. He's not stopping there to end the guards. He just wants to escape and then gets tased. I also don't know why when they use the set of jail keys it damages the door. That seems to be a bit strange. Anyway, so what I might do, quite frankly, is... Do I have an armed patrol around here? If I have an armed patrol around here and... Whoa, hang on. See that? Ho, I saw it. Search prisoner. He went in there and came straight back out again. No, it's fine. Don't know why I did that. Well, I know why. Well, I think I know why I did that. Yeah, SIGs stolen. See that? Jail keys, baton, SIGs and lighter can be gained from there. But he went in and out, so he did require access apparently. So that's just showing how that one works. Yeah, having an armed guard around here, I don't know if that's going to work or not, because if Lee ever kicks off, which he will, there's no if, it's when he kicks off, because look at that. He's got 2 hours lockdown and then 15 hours of solitary. He's going to spend his life in solitary. Anyway, apparently behind a damaged door, which is never good. Anyway, I digress. So, the problem is that when he kicks off, he takes out whoever he comes across, gets keys and runs off. Well, if I have an armed guard going back and forth, that's not going to do anything. He doesn't care. He's fearless. So, if he takes out an armed guard, if the armed guard doesn't shoot him, you understand, he might have a change of heart and pick up a shotgun rather than a set of keys. And I'd rather not put this into the position that that could happen, quite honestly. Let's have a shakedown there. We're going to get some utilities here, and we're going to run some utilities along. There's another tunnel. Only just started. The last hour by the look of it as well. Just going to run this up and around. And down here. A little bit overcomplicated, but there we are. So, one... Look at that. All that work, and he was probably detected when... Oh no, to be fair, he's got a little bit there. He's probably been detected when he used the spade to smash the toilet bowl to start his tunnel. Worst digger ever. Anyway, so that has been a fairly decent build there for this. We are going to search this room, but this is now up and running. If we go to deployment guard patrols here, we want to set a guard patrol in and around here. So 1 and then 2. So that's 2 guard patrols, both of which are set inside of this high-risk cell block. Next episode, we'll get some prisoners. High-risk ones. And we've also found some tasers, which I want to know where those have come from, so I'll check that in a bit as well. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings. Ooh, when you try to scroll out when it's maximum scroll, it doesn't have stutter for some reason. Ugh.